CBS News, the White House.
All right, turning our attention to the weather now. It seems like it's been a pretty wet month. I mean, this is what I guess we needed for the month of May, certainly. Exactly. But if you want to get something done this weekend, take care of your yard, go to the lake, this is going to be a good weekend to do it.
This is it. It looks mostly dry. I haven't said that in a while. We're going to have dry conditions, but due to the dry conditions, we're also going to heat up.
Yeah.
And humidity is going to rise.
It's hot, but at least it's humid.
Exactly. And summer officially starts on Monday. And one piece of good news, we haven't had any tornadoes in this month of May. Last month, we did have a few tornadoes in North Texas, but it's been relatively quiet, and we're going to end it on a good note. But here you can see what else we're talking about. The heat index will be near 100, especially on Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday, between 96 to 100. So the humidity will rise, mostly dry conditions, and then storm chances will return, but not until next Tuesday through next Thursday. We'll have between a 30 to 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms next week. Temperature-wise, we are at 86 right now. You can see here over to the north, 84 degrees. The wind is fairly light, 5 to 10 miles per hour for the most part, and you can see it here. So it's not going to be a windy day, but it will be a humid day. You can see here dew points are in the upper 60s. That is very muggy. And as I mentioned, by Monday, the dew point is going to be near 70. So very high dew point, a lot of moisture in the air, but mostly dry conditions. So for the high today, 93 degrees. It will feel closer to 95 degrees, however. And you can see here that we are getting a little bit of cloud cover from the west. The clouds will increase throughout the afternoon. We'll have filter sunshine. But really the area that we're watching is in West Texas. You notice how we have showers and thunderstorms that are starting to develop. Well, some of them will turn severe. They're actually at a level 2 in parts of Lubbock, over into parts of Amarillo. And as that line forms, it will try to make a run at us like it usually does. But look what happens. It moves towards the east and it runs into stable air in our western counties. And so we are good to go. We don't have to worry about anything like that. Now, let's talk about the heat. It's going to be hot. 93 today, 94 tomorrow, Sunday 95, and 94 on Monday. And with the dew points going up, that means that the heat index, where our body feels, will also go up. So 95 for today, that's what it will feel like. It will feel like 96 on Saturday, 98 on Sunday, and also 98 on Monday. So it will feel like 100 degrees. Make sure that you stay hydrated. Make sure that you're really taking care of yourself. But look at this, 10% chance of a shower today into tonight, 10% on Saturday, and 0 on Sunday. We haven't had that in a long time. Why is this happening? Well, in the upper levels of the atmosphere, we have a ridge, and you can see.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Borda with CBS News Texas. We are breaking into programming to bring you an update following yesterday's deadly explosion at an apartment in the Oak Cliff apartment building in the Oak Cliff neighborhood of Dallas. Another news conference is underway by Dallas Fire Rescue. Here is Fire Chief Justin Ball.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Justin Ball with Dallas Fire Rescue, the fire chief, and I know you lot have all been updated on what happened yesterday. As far as since yesterday, we searched the building the best of our abilities in a safe manner, using drones, our urban search and rescue teams, dogs, everything. And the search was till about approximately 2 in the morning. Then we shut it down and continued searching again early this morning. And so as it stands, there not out of the 22 units the apartment complex had, 19 were occupied by families. And to the best of our knowledge, everyone is accounted for per the resident list that we acquired from the complex. It still remains 3 people are deceased. They were not in the same unit. They were in different units. Yeah, questions.
They were in different units, or?
Not all 3. 2 were in one unit and 1 was in one unit.
What's the next step for what you'll have to do here?
So from here, it'll be the investigation. So it's our arson division in collaboration with federal agencies. They will do their investigation, ascertain why, the origin, and then we'll do debris removal.
Why wasn't that apartment evacuated? We're hearing that, calls were made out earlier. There was a fire truck on scene. Why did we not evacuate that building?
Because, our fire engine got here within 2 minutes, and we have a protocol to keep them safe in a gas leak, and they've got to set up to a water supply, call additional units, and then start evacuating. They don't just rush in and evacuate. They've got to stop people entering the street. So they did everything they were supposed to do right before they were going to enter and evacuate the complex. Then it exploded, and I would say if it had exploded a minute later, this would be a much worse situation.
So just so we understand, though, because yesterday you guys said you guys were on scene within minutes, but you guys were on scene for the leak, not necessarily the explosion and fire.
Yeah, but they were setting up to evacuate, and when they show up on the scene, they don't know what to expect. I mean, they get gas leak, but there's gas leaks all over the city at any given time. So they set up, make sure they've got all their safety attire on, make sure they block the street access. They've also got to figure out where the gas is leaking, and then they set up a water supply so they can protect themselves and others. And then once everything's set up, then they go to enter the building, and it just, 9 times out of 10, this is not the outcome, but it exploded pretty quick. But I'll tell you this, our men and women, they got here really fast, did everything they were supposed to do, and there was great heroics done on this day.
Can you clarify?
And I'll say something else.
Yeah.
The building next door, if it was not for our firefighters' fast response and tactics, that almost certainly would have gone up in flames also, and there'd be a lot more casualties.
And to clarify the timeline, which unit was here? And you said they were here for 2 minutes, and then the explosion happened.
No, the engine 15 got here within 2 minutes of the call. Set up, then after they were set up, right when they were about to enter the building exploded.
Do we know that length of time?
It's somewhere around 10-15 minutes.
So they were in the street 10 to 15 minutes.
Preparing to see what you got to understand. Like, it's for a fire company coming here, this is a big scene, and they have to get around their head what's going on, where the leak is. It's not always apparent, but no time was wasted. They did everything per protocol that they're supposed to do, and it had a unfortunate.
And who made the initial call about the gas leak?
No, I'm
Drilling company, or do we know who made the call?
I'm not sure. There's probably multiple calls, like smelling gas in the area, I would assume, but I'll have to get that information.
Chief, how many people are still unaccounted for?
For our records, there is nobody unaccounted for, or we'd still be searching. We've had no one come to us and say our family member's missing, right? Now, I would never guarantee that there's not someone, because you never know who may have been around, may have been inside. But we've used cadaver dogs, we've used our urban search and rescue, that this is what they do, and we believe this is it.
Chief,
and everyone's accounted for.
Human error triggered this explosion?
I wouldn't want to speculate. It's too early in the investigation, and who knows, but the investigation's on the way, and as soon as we know, we'll let you lot know.
Can you confirm who is in charge of that investigation now? NTSB is here now?
Yeah.
Are they leading up this investigation now?
They are in collaboration with our arson division and federal agencies, ATF, and then once, I don't imagine that taking a colossal amount of time, and then it comes back to our arson division.
Chief, just for clarity's sake, so at the time of the ignition, there was a gas leak was leaking. the time of the admission, your men and women were already on the scene. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
So do they have a sense about what the ignition source? I mean, so that's new in the sense that they actually they witnessed it going on.
Yeah, yeah. So that will be part of the investigation, is their statements. But, you know, I would not want to put something out there and it end up being something different, because I can speculate all day, but I wouldn't want to put out anything as fact.
So you don't have a sense about what the source of the...
I mean, you know, I have sort of an idea, but it would be unprofessional for me to put that out there.
After the explosion, were any of your firefighters who were on scene able to get in and get people out safely?
So, yeah, there was, you know, immediately multi-alarm fires. About 120 firefighters ended up here, and a lot of people in a situation like that, they're running out. So it's a combination of, you know, our firefighters rescuing and them self-rescuing.
Do you have a sense of how many people were home or in the apartment when it happened?
I know it was 19 families, and...
You lived there, but we don't know if all of them were home or...
No, there's some unknowns, but normally at this point, you've got someone saying, so-and-so lived there and we have not heard from them, or...
So we don't know how many were displaced. Like, we know how many are in the hospital.
We know there was 19 families. We just don't exactly know how many per family.
Chief, for context, has there been anything comparable to what we saw yesterday in your experience in DFR? And if so, like, what challenges that present yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, this stuff happens. Like, we had one a few years ago, and it was very similar, except the firefighters were inside, and they got burnt really bad. So this stuff happens. It happens in all big cities.
Chief, to circle back, the protocol that your firefighters were using yesterday to set up and wait those 10 to 15 minutes to go in, that's protocol. You don't fault them for that.
No, and they weren't.
Some people are going to call it delay. Some people are going to call it protocol.
Let me clear this up. They didn't sit there and wait. They got here quick and assessed the situation, put on their protective wear, set up like with a permanent water supply, and there's only 4 of them, and that takes time. To put all the safety protocols in place prior to evacuation, it would be I would be criticizing them if they had not done that. And if they had just gone in, it would be the same outcome, except they would be the victims also.
Were any of them injured? Were any of the first responders injured that witnessed the blast?
No, it was amazing. It was right before they were making entrance. There was no wasted time.
Can you provide any more insight on the nature of the work that the contractor was doing on the scene?
Honestly, there was work being done, but I don't know the exact. Again, all that is part of the investigation.
The neighbors next door were just showing marks on the ground in the parking lot that they were drilling there before they moved to the other property. No idea what they were doing?
No, I've no idea. It wasn't anything through the city. And who knows? Sometimes with something like this, it all points to the obvious, and it's not. So that's why I would not put anything out there.
I don't know if you mentioned it already, but obviously there's another building right next to it and a bunch of properties, of course. What's the situation with those folks right there?
I'll have to get back with you on how many of them were displaced, but you can see that all the windows were blown out, and it started to catch fire. But our crews, when they got here, crews were sent immediately into that building to mitigate the damage to that building, which would have been colossal.
Hey, Chief, just for us to understand, if there's a property, it's a private property, so this appears not to be involving Atmos or city crews. If somebody's doing something on their property to, let's say, dig for soil samples, what of that, when does someone have to reach out and to who before doing anything that would perforate the ground, just in general terms?
No, there is a permit in progress process, and it's too early. It's too early to give you that information. Like the main focus so far has been on rescuing the victims, finding the victims, and now that the scene has slowed down, it's time to find out why it happened, and that's the phase we're in now. So I can't but I can't give information that I'm just speculating of what happened, because that'll go out as fact, and it's unfair.
I'm just trying to ask, like, just in general terms, if somebody's going to drill, even if it's on their own property, there is a process to go through, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not asking about, yes, did this happen here?
Okay, good. Okay, one more.
So we heard yesterday about the physical and emotional toll that this work takes on your mental. How are they doing tonight? How are you taking care of them?
Well, we have, so, you know, if it's something devastating, some of the crews, particularly the first ones on scene, if they need to go home, they'll go home. Sometimes they want to stay at work, but we have peer support team that they'll talk to. We lean on chaplain services. We'll give them all the help they need. This is a tough job, and this isn't a one-time thing. This stuff like this happens, and I would never minimize it, but you got to be tough. They're in a tough job. They performed a lot of heroics yesterday, and that's the stuff they need to hear. We don't need to criticize anything. Mainly, and nothing was done wrong, but part of their recovery will be they need to know they did everything they can, and that's where we're going. And we've got peer support that know exactly how to talk to these folks, because it is, these folks, these are families, they have families, and they're a sensitive lot, so we'll do everything we can to help them through this.
Hey, Chief, just for some peace of mind for residents that are telling us there's another gas leak, like we've been told that there's another gas leak that is happening out here. What do we tell them? Is that
we're here? No, I mean, we lightly smell it. That area is surrounded by experts. They'll be the ones that say there's still a gas leak, and they will evacuate the area.
Do you know why they were told not to use their stove or anything like that inside their apartment?
They don't have a stove left. The apartment's flattened. That was last question.
All right, Fire Chief Justin Ball with DFR describing what happened leading up to the explosion at the Clyde Apartments in Oak Cliff yesterday. He says everyone is believed to be accounted for now. 3 people are dead from 2 separate units in the apartment building, 5 people injured. He says after the initial call of the gas leak that came in at 12:47 yesterday, that the fire crews arrived within 2 minutes, and he says they followed protocol in setting up, blocking the street, finding the source of the gas leak, gearing up, and he says they were actually preparing to go inside the building when it exploded. He says, in fact, if the explosion had happened even 1 minute later, it would have been a much bigger disaster than it was, because the firefighters would have been inside. It would have been a much worse tragedy. Now, we are going to continue to follow this story. We've got team coverage for you coming up on our later newscast, beginning on CBS News Texas at 4 and online, cbsnewstexas.com all day. And we will see you then. Thank you.